I heard that. I'm giving Sharice drama tonight. Background music. Let's try some background music just for the start.
Okay. Oh, listen, I'll take it. Makes me feel all,
That's right. That's right. Everybody, we professional. Well, good evening, everybody. I'm your vibe, Mr. Stephanie Renee, joined by my co-hostess with the most, Sharice. And welcome to tonight's edition of I Heard That. And our theme for the evening is one that we hope you will have a lot of fun on with us, because we are sharing our favorite TV themes. And so, of course, since that's not really a big deal anymore,
I
this
know.
is more of a flashback kind of situation. And I guess on that, I will fade out our background.
Yes. I'm sad about the fact that we don't get theme songs like we used to. Like it was like, and it was part of the watching experience to catch the theme song, to know it, to learn it. You're singing it on the street. That was a big thing. It was a big part of the experience, and now you don't even get that. You barely get anything. When the show comes on now, it just comes on. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say, and for a lot of these dramas and the crime procedurals, they throw you right in the middle of somebody getting murdered.
Right. No intro or nothing. We just jumping on in. So
so, at least what was great about the theme song era, late 70s, well, actually all the way through the 70s into the early 80s, was that it set up not just the episode, right? But it set up the feeling of what the show in its entirety was set to bring you. Now, what I think is really interesting, because we have this conversation on the show very often, is that there is today, and it started in the late 90s, but it really picked up speed in the 2000s, is that there are music supervisors now.
right.
Especially for these procedurals, who aren't dealing with the theme music as much as they are dealing with setting a tone with music throughout a program. And so there's a whole different role the songs have. And shout out to the music supervisors, because I'm telling you, they have turned me on to a whole bunch of artists that I probably never would have heard of before. So I'm thankful to that part of the process, but we still have a special place in our hearts for the theme song. So that's what you're going to hear tonight.
Yes.
The other thing that, and I'm sure Sharice, you'll talk about this as well, that we discovered in terms of this playlist, is there are some themes that were songs on their own, so very similar to this music supervisor era.
Yes.
But for the songs that were written specifically for a show, they are this long.
Right.
And so we're able to cram in at least one extra song for the playlist tonight, because some of these are like the shortest one is under a minute.
Yeah.
So, we had a little bit of time to play with in terms of being able to bring you all more content.
But think about how much impact that means, that these songs that are so short, how much impact they had being that short. Like, to be a minute or less than a minute, or not, because they're not, you're talking about an intro to a show. So no, you can't go into verse, chorus, bridge. You can't do all that for the show. So they still, and yet they still had such an impact.
Yes.
That they had people singing those little short snippets of songs outside of watching, yes. And it made it again, it was such a part of the experience. These little snippets, we didn't want to miss that part.
You're
asking that much time. If you slept, you was gonna miss the intro. You were missing that theme song, and you would be a little bit upset, because it ain't like we doing now, where we can just stream and catch it on the next episode. we gotta wait till next week.
Right. So I'm glad that you brought that up. So this also reminds us of an era when we did not have almost full out on demand television.
Right.
If your favorite show came on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock, then if you sat down in front of the TV at 8:03, you missed some dialogue and you missed that theme song that
Yes,
you loved and had to wait till the summer for the reruns to try and catch it again.
Right.
So yeah, our viewing experience has evolved quite a bit.
Yeah,
over these last 40 some odd years.
Absolutely.
You know, but there's not one selection among this that is from an era before we were born. At least Sharice and I were born.
Okay.
So though we are nostalgic, we're not going back in the history books in terms of our selections, though we could have, right?
Yes.
But I think we were just really focused on the shows that we interacted with the most as young people growing into adulthood. So I hope you all will enjoy this experience. And I guess we might as well jump in.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Now, you all know, if you have watched this show more than once, you know that Sharice and I always have conversations as we put this playlist together about, you know, things that we could have, should have, or whatever. And if you have watched the show and heard me at any point, you know that I have a vocal kind of holy trinity.
Yes.
And I have a King Zero producer. And so, needless to say, when Sharice sent me her songs, I was like,
and you know, I was like, I know for sure if I don't choose this song, Stephanie gonna choose it. But it was one of those, it was one of the very first that I thought of. Like, it literally was. And I share in the sheer admiration and awe of Mr. Quincy Jones. He is insurmountable, in my opinion, as an artist, as a producer, as a, like, just
all the things.
You're talking about somebody who's been doing this for decades and decades. If there's a classic, a throwback, whomever, whatever genre musician that you can think of, Miles Davis, Dizzy Gillespie, Sarah Vaughan, all of them, and then coming up to the Ashford and Simpsons and the Shaka Khans and the he has
and including
them. And including, you know what I mean? Like, he has worked with all of them. He's worked with your favorite artists.
And I will say that because, you know, there's a grandma that lives somewhere deep inside me. I watch CBS Sunday Morning. And this past Sunday, they had a segment where they talked about a brand new project that he also produced at least one song on that is a tribute to Henry Mancini.
Oh, wow.
And so, so still at 90.
Still doing it.
He,
and then had how many aneurysms? I know he had at least one.
Yeah, he had that one major one that almost took him out of here.
Yes.
I think he's had a couple of strokes since then.
Yes.
But he's 90.
And still.
But he's still doing it. He was still sitting in that chair. They showed one little clip of him behind the board in a high chair, like, woo, because he was happy with whatever he was producing. You know, they could only show and let people hear a little tiny bit of it before it's released. But I just thought that was darling to see him in the chair doing his thing.
Yes. Well, this show is iconic. As you said, you know, theme songs for me, 70s and 80s. That's where I grew up. That was my thing. The TV shows were, as far as I knew, were creative and new and, you know, and all encompassing. I stayed in front of that TV once I had to come in from outside playing. Mm-hmm. And the theme songs were just as important to me as the songs that I heard on the radio. And it's amazing too, because we're talking about songs that don't all have lyrics. So it's not like you're learning words. You're learning instrumental pieces, you know.
But you and I were still sitting there like do right along with the instrumentals for the songs we love. So
yes.
Yeah.
So yes, so and you know, in this show again, we have an iconic comedian who my mother loved because he was a dirty comic. But and the theme song was it's an instrumental, funky, harmonica-y, saxophony theme that was written by Quincy Jones. And we're talking about the theme song from Sanford and Son, which is called, hold on, let me tell you what it's called. The Street Beater.
Oh, really? So on the compilation that I pulled this from, they just called it Sanford and Son theme.
So this is one of those songs that's actually on an album that Quincy Jones produced called "You Got It Bad Girl" from 1973. And yes, Sanford and is listed as Sanford and Son theme, The Street Beater.
Okay.
So this is a song that you can find and actually purchase and own from a compilation. The first one I saw was that compilation, and then I was like, well, let me see, because I don't know, something triggered in me to go and see if there was an actual album that this was on, because it's a song and it's a hit. Everybody knows this song. You think you don't know Quincy Jones music, but you do, because guess what? The theme from Sanford and Son.
All right, here we go.
Let's go.
I heard that. So as you see, we got it off on the good foot tonight.
Yes.
Because you can't not chair dance.
You can't
when that's on. You have to,
especially when you're hearing the whole song. Like, you know, when you heard a good chunk of it, you know, watching the show, like the intro and the outro.
Yes.
But when you hearing the whole song, it's like, oh, okay, I got a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Relax into the groove with it.
That's one of those shows that you can like. This is the thing. Like now, with the fact that we don't have sitcoms in abundance anymore on primetime TV, a lot of people are watching these shows now in syndication. I mean, I have friends who like I'm about to watch Sanford and Son and watch it, you know, because it's coming on back to back. Right now I'm watching. Oh, I'm not gonna mention the show I'm watching in case it's a spoiler. But but researching for this show got me watching a retro show, not retro, not all the way back. But it's the songs that I chose. The shows are like on my list, and I'm like, oh gosh. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we got, you know, one of the things that you all will learn about me tonight is that all of my childhood music nerddom could have been fully on display in the songs that I picked. However, I decided to dial that back some.
Okay.
So that we would have more of a story being told by our collective playlist coming together.
Okay.
Because you know me, I'm a deep in the cuts chick.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have fully pop nerded out on y'all. And I was like, no, not quite. But we're gonna touch on some of those things before tonight, right? All of these things that are so crucial to our culture.
Yes.
Right. So I was tempted. The reason why I put Tiffany up on the screen, I was tempted to do the Good Times thing. But you know, we like to do twofers.
Yes.
As we put our playlist together. And because Jeanette Dubois was so talented, I could get her in with a reference to Good Times and then celebrate her vocals on another theme.
Yes.
So you all already know where I'm going next.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other things that I think is really beautiful about this process is once you get a chance to reacquaint yourself with the names of the people singing these theme songs, it gives you a chance to think a little bit more about the social and societal culture that was happening when these shows were out, because some of these people had full-on careers aside from what they did on screen.
Right.
And so if they were singing a theme song or what have you, it just drew into the vastness of their experience and things that we should maybe refamiliarize ourselves with these people. And Jeanette Dubois is one of those people. Philly Connection, always have to shout those out. But even more importantly, people who kind of pick and chose how they wanted to represent themselves on screen and these roles overall that they were taking in their lives. And I think that is going to be really interesting as we go throughout the night. But I'm not gonna belabor the point too much more, because you know these are short songs, right? But we all know and love Good Times. We all know and love Willona. Yes, and we appreciate her for that. But also during this same period in history, we got introduced to George and Wheezy. And we got a chance to hear Jeanette Dubois along with Orrin Waters sing the theme song for the Jeffersons.
Yes.
Well, we're moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Moving on up to the east side. We finally got a piece of the pie. Fish don't fry in the kitchen, beans don't burn on the grill. Took a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. Now we're up in the big leagues, getting our turn at bat. As long as we live, it's you and me, baby. There ain't nothing
See what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that was
Short.
quick. That was a quick one.
Short. But just appreciating. Listen, the whole notion of, I had to pick that one over Good Times. Good Times is a great theme.
Yes.
But that whole, if you weren't in the room when the Jeffersons came on, then in my house, you were doing the church clap from wherever you were, singing along with the theme song to get in place in your seat to be able to enjoy the rest of the show. Right. So that's a shout out to all the church kids, former church kids. That's me, who were in that space and appreciating it both for what I was laughing at on screen, but also that theme music that got me in the room and got me settled.
Yes. The breakdown,
Yeah. So the next theme that we have up for you is a sentimental favorite for me. Okay. You and I, we talk a lot about, shows that showed teens even before we were teens, I think had a special place in everybody's heart. It turned into a whole genre of shows after that, right? Degrassi High and Saved by the Bell and, all these shows that depicted this life. But in the 70s, there was only one real show that gave us a ton of stars out of it, but that had both, that lovable kind of camaraderie and a great theme song. And so when you put this on the list, I was like, yes.
And you know what? This was one of the last songs that I picked. Really? It like popped in my head. Oh, wait a minute. And again, these are, oh my gosh, like these it's this whole thing had me like in my feelings the whole time, because you're listening to all these songs, you're remembering the shows. And again, this is when like writing was very creative. It was realistic, and then they added the literary freedom license, whatever, to make it a little dramatic, to add to it. But it was just a time when we weren't seeing like cookie cutter or anything. Everything was so different. And this show, as you said, we got us a few superstars out of it. People are still working to this day. From the time when they were depicted as teenagers. I don't know, these teenagers that were on the shows were like grown folks, some of them. So I don't know if any of these were actual teenagers.
I don't think so.
But this show, Welcome Back, Kotter, showed, they dealt with some real issues that teens went through back in that time. And I really appreciated the fact that they showed teens or students having good relationships with the teacher, with the principal, even though it was like, a lot of banter going on, but you could tell that there was a good relationship with them, and showed his life outside of teaching, which was, again, people don't even think that, kids don't think teachers exist outside of the schoolhouse. It's like, oh my gosh, you have a wife? What? You live somewhere? You don't live here? So I just love that whole perspective and everything. And this song is, again, like you said, is one. It just snatches you and takes you right on back to that time in the 70s when we had Welcome Back, which is the theme song from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Yes, and of course,
Boom Boom Washington.
Here we go. I got it.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead you? Who'd have thought they'd lead you? Back here where we need you. Back here where we need you. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We always could spot a friend. Welcome back. And I smile when I think how you must have been. And I know what a scene you were learning in. Was there something that made you come back again? And what could ever lead you? What could ever lead you? Back here where we need you. Back here where we need you. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. And I know what a scene you were learning in. Was there something that made you come back again? And what could ever lead you? What could ever lead you? Back here where we need you. Back here where we need you. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, we tease him a lot. Welcome back, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
I heard that. That song still makes me smile.
I know, right? I love that song, man. And it's actually on an album by John Sebastian called Welcome Back.
Exactly.
Like
Oh.
he knew what to name this song, you know, that album.
Yes. Thank you, Tiffany. It's you know, I'm growing into it. Now I'm gonna let it grow and be free. But I will also say that if there is somebody that does not look like their voice,
You know,
like, you know, and I purposely look for pictures of these people around the era when the
Yeah.
songs were done. I mean, I wouldn't expect that voice to come out of that face.
He sounds like he would be that older guy that did all this. I don't know his name.
I know who exactly you talking about.
Yes.
Who does the themes for Disney?
Yes,
I forget his
him.
name.
Yes, the one that sang all those Toy Story songs and stuff.
Yes.
You got a friend in me. That's who you would think. You know what I'm saying? It would make sense, but that's who you looking for when you hear "Welcome Back." Well, you know,
exactly.
so, yeah.
Exactly. For a while, I thought it was him, but
Me
you know,
too.
I learned over the years. I was like, the
Right.
John Sebastian. That name just stuck in my head, so I was like,
Right.
I know exactly who it is. But yeah,
Right.
I forget
Yes.
his name though. It's gonna drive me crazy until I go look it up.
We can Google. Somebody in the what you call it probably already Googling it now.
Yeah.
Who sang the songs for Disney and them? You know, you got a friend in me.
Yes.
Who sang it?
and now everybody's popping in. Want to make sure we get all of our hellos up on the screen for folks who are joining us now.
Hey Sharon,
Welcome,
hey,
Craig.
Tiffany,
Welcome, Sharon. And welcome, Daphne.
Daphne and Stephanie had birthdays that passed before we, you know, since our last show. So happy birthday to Stephanie and Daphne.
Thank you. And so, you know, in this moment, me and my ringers. Now there are some people who have joined us who are old enough to remember this show and this song. But there are so many reasons why I love it. One, at this time in our existence, there was almost no Latino, Chicano representation on TV at all. So for this show to not only star a Chicano, but feature a song, a theme song sung by a Chicano, I was like, this must be one of my selections tonight. It is unfortunate that the star of the show died way too early.
Yes, way too early.
And his son is good and grown now. So, you know,
Yes.
we talk about the passage of time. His son,
Yes.
who is a junior, is now grown and has done plenty of his own shows and movies and all kinds of things.
Yes.
One of the first Nepo babies, honestly. I mean, you know, of the modern era. If you think about it. But also, it is amazing to me. I made this connection really early when I heard Raul Midon's music. But this whole concept of blind Latino guitarists and the history that they have had in the industry, it's really kind of stunning. But it is clear that Raul Midon spent a lot of his childhood listening to this man's music because the influence is so present in his music. But this is one, Randy Newman. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was right there, like right in my brain, but I couldn't get it. Thank you. But I am speaking about the great Jose Feliciano.
Yes.
And the show is not even much in syndication. So you may have never heard of it. You definitely probably have not seen it unless you live on TV Land, because TV Land is probably the only cable station that might even have it present. But once upon a time in the 70s, there was a show that celebrated Chicano culture called Chico and
gosh, yes.
The theme song is sung by Jose Feliciano, and it is another one of those 3-minute songs. So you get a whole song.
Yes, this is a whole song.
To experience the joy of this music.
Oh my gosh. I love this song.
Don't be discouraged. The man, he ain't so hard to understand. Chico, if you try now, I know that you can lend a helping hand, because it's good in everyone, and a new day has begun. You can see the morning sun if you try. And I know things will be better. I know they will for Chico and the man. Well, the man, he don't trust you. He thinks you're trying to bust up all his dreams. But the man, he don't know now that you've got your own crazy plans and schemes. Well, there's good in everyone, and a new day has begun. You can see the morning sun if you try. And I know things will be better. Oh, yes, they will for Chico and the man. Yes, they will for Chico and the man. Even though it's funny, he don't understand, yeah. Óyeme, Chico, Chico, vamos al vacilón. Mira, caminando por la calle de Los Ángeles, Chico, te encuentras solo, como yo me encontré una vez. Oye, Chico, vamos a vacilar, vamos a vacilar. Oye, que yo me voy, que yo me voy, que yo me voy. Óyeme, Chico, Chico, don't get in trouble with the man.
I heard that. This is my happy little kid face.
Jose went off. Jose went off. Okay. Oh man, I love that song. I love that. I love the show. It was so good to me, and I love that song so much.
I loved his mustache so much. I need y'all to know, like there were just certain aspects of culture back then that I latched on to.
Yes.
And it was so seldom when I got a chance to hear Spanish at home. Like I really heard Spanish mostly when I went to go visit my great aunt Edith, right? But generally speaking, there was something so familiar about all everything in that show. And listen, how subversive was it? I mean, we're talking about early 70s, really.
Yes.
To be able to call a white man the man and get away with it in the title of the show. I'm like, clearly there were some other things at play,
right,
here that we need to be able to appreciate.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was
shout out to Jose
that one.
Feliciano, and thank you for having such a huge influence on Raul Midon, who is one of my favorites. He's one of my favorites. He brings me to tears every time I see him live. It's wonderful.
He is an amazing artist. Tiffany and I saw him in I think it was I don't want to say where it was because I can't think of the name now. It's somewhere in New York, one of the ballrooms in New York.
Okay.
And he was amazing, like amazing. Okay. I don't pass up a chance to catch him, whenever he's around. That was the only time that I caught him, but definitely. Oh my gosh. That you really took it. You got me with that one. I'm serious. Like I missed that show and that song. That's a song that for no reason I just start singing.
Or just start dancing around the room, right?
I will just start singing that song out of nowhere. If somebody say something about, if you don't say the word, don't say the name Chico, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm gonna start singing that song. Yes.
So listen, while we're in this space, right? We're hovering here in the 70s for a minute.
Yes.
And the next theme song up to bat is the one that I mentioned, which is the shortest one we're sharing with you all of the night because it is under a minute long. But there's no way you can't have this one on the show because of who sings it.
Listen, okay.
Period.
I searched high and low. I was please let this be a whole song. Please let there be something, like more than just what we have here. And there wasn't. No. This theme song is strictly a theme song, and the person who's singing didn't even write it. So maybe that's why. Like he did. If he had written it, I'm sure it would have been on one of his albums or something like that. So the background to the show, since the song is so short, let me tell you how the song came about. We had a show. Norman Lear wrote a whole bunch of comedy. How did this man? So this is the genius of Norman Lear. Okay, first of all, he wrote so many shows that were like totally different from each other. It was no overlapping of themes, but they were overlapping of characters. He was the king of the spinoff series.
Before Aaron Speller.
Listen, he's the blueprint. So he had his little show called All in the Family, right? Mm-hmm. Archie Bunker and Edith and their family. And what he did was he said he happened to see B. Arthur doing some other acting gig. And he saw her. She wasn't even in front of him, but whoever she was acting in front of, he reached out like, who was that? Who's that girl? Because I need to do. And he wrote a show around B. Arthur, who they wrote her into All in the Family as Edith's cousin. And her cousin Maud, and Maud was a liberal. She was the equal rights. She was a feminist. Burn the bras. She was all that. And so the theme song, which wasn't written by Donny Hathaway, but it was performed by Donny Hathaway, speaks of women throughout history who have made an impact, one way or the other. And so of course, as I say, if Donny Hathaway had written this song, we would have can you imagine him writing the whole song, a whole song, and then they had to take a little clip of it to make the theme for this show. But anyway, this is another show. So we're not gonna, I'm gonna go a little bit past Maud, because Maud is a spinoff from the All in the Family. But then we had Conrad Bain, who was Mr. Drummond in Different Strokes. He was in that show. A whole bunch of folks from Maud were in other shows that Norman Lear produced. Another spinoff, though, was the fact that Maud did she did what I'm about to do soon. She had a housekeeper, and her housekeeper's name was Florida Evans. And so the spinoff, the man created a whole nother show, and all his shows was hit. Good Times is a spinoff from Maud based on Florida. Now tell me, when did you ever see Florida Evans when she was on Good Times saying she was a housekeeper? Never.
Well, and she would have had to be transplanted from New York to Chicago. Because Good Times was based on A Raisin in the Sun.
Right. Well, she must have moved. She moved. That's what happened. She moved. And that's okay. People move all the time. But just keep in mind that this man had a show, spin-off. Like, he just knew what he was doing.
You didn't even mention the Jeffersons.
Oh, all right. And then the Jeffersons sold that. Right. He had 2 spinoffs from All in the Family. Now, with Meathead, what was his name? I can't think of his real name. whoever the Archie and Edith's daughter married. I can't think of his real name, because Archie called him Meathead. That's all I can think of right now. But anyway, his friend. He had a friend named Lionel Jefferson.
Yep.
And then he had some kind of problem with Archie Bunker, and that's how we saw George Jefferson for the first time on All in the Family. Because George Jefferson came over to Archie Bunker house to set him straight, get him, he gathered him. Okay.
Snatched
right. That daggone Norman Lear. He was the king of the spin-off. 2 spin-offs from All in the Family. And all of his spin-offs were hits. He got the Jeffersons, he got Maud, he got Good Times. The man is no joke. And will be turning 100 very shortly. Wow. Yeah, he's still here. He be wearing them cute little hats. Yeah. He be doing his thing.
He's still producing.
Amazing. But I say all that to say, we got 1 minute of not even a minute of a theme song, but y'all know it. It's the theme from Maud, performed by the one and only Donny Hathaway.
Yes.
Lady Godiva was a freedom rider. She didn't care if the whole world looked. Joan of Arc with the Lord to guide her. She was a sister who really cooked. Isadora was the first bra burner. Ain't you glad she showed up?
Oh, yeah!
And when the country was falling apart, Betsy Ross got it all sewed up.
And then there's Maud.
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 And then there's
compromising, enterprising, anything but tranquilizing. Right on, Margie.
I heard that.
So you see, that one
Love it.
wasn't even long enough for me to put up any other additional banners. Like, you just gotta let that one go.
Yeah, don't even try.
But the other thing that I heard it, and then it reinforced it when I did this show, is that clearly the people who wrote Schoolhouse Rock took all of the energy of that Maude theme song when they did their episode for the 19th Amendment, because that was it. It was the sound, it was all of it.
Yes.
Even that, the Schoolhouse Rock song was longer than the Maude theme song.
That's wild.
But again, you just hear, this is why we do this show, is so that you listen to things closely and you feel those threads coming together for all of these wonderful things. So that is definitely something that I hear from that. But of course, in terms of how we have continuity on the show, what I have coming up next, because this is one of those examples of people who are so vastly different from the characters that they play on screen. But also, God bless the people who are straight actors but will step into a moment and sing their own theme song. Hello.
Oh my gosh.
And so, Gene Stapleton was just one of those actors who, in order to live in that space of that role, you had to be a special kind of person.
Yeah.
Because, being Edith opposite Archie is, you got to hold it together and not laugh.
I swear.
But also, when he says some really offensive, I need y'all to really dig into the ability to be able to say some of the things that character said, win 2 Emmys for that role, but also to not be that person.
Right.
All of the flack that Carol O'Connor took, either from people who thought that he thought exactly the way they did,
right,
these now MAGA people,
right,
and the other people who were like, clutch the pearls.
Yes.
Said, what? But this was all to an end to get us to the humanity. Sharice ran down for you all of the characters that spun off of this show. So the idea that you had this real embodiment of a mentality that was constantly being challenged to keep up with how the world was changing.
Yeah.
And to be able to process it, deal with it, because this is where we are going, sir. We're not going to stay in this headspace where you are.
Right.
The world is moving forward.
Right.
And how subversive it was to offer us a show in the early 70s. We're talking about coming off of Vietnam, coming off of the Black Panthers and all of this militants, the civil rights movement, and to say, we've got to change. As a people, we've got to change. And so, doing research for this show, one of the things I found fascinating is Carol O'Connor was born and raised in Queens, New York, very similar to the neighborhood that was depicted on All in the Family. Mm-hmm. But he started college at the University of Montana.
Wow.
Where he met his wife. But he left there because he needed to work. He needed to do some things in order to help his younger brother go to med school. And in the interim, he still wanted to finish his degree. So he finished school in Ireland. He is Irish Catholic down to the socks.
Wow.
And even with all of that, he left this amazing show that challenged us, pushed us, all those things, did kind of a revival of sorts with Archie Bunker's Place for a few years, and then decided to executive produce, direct, write, and star in a television version of the show In the Heat of the Night.
Yes.
Which I didn't watch it when it was on in real time because CBS was the channel for old people by and large. But in syndication, I have developed a whole new appreciation for it because that show, again, set in Sparta, Mississippi.
Yes.
And he employed Howard Rollins. After Howard Rollins came out, we weren't talking about gay nothing.
Right.
In the 80s, into the early 90s. So in the heat of the AIDS epidemic, which unfortunately Howard Rollins ultimately died from, he had this man as a star on his show.
Yes.
It was set in Mississippi. It was equal Black and white people starring on this show. Yep. So don't ever allow yourself to think that Carol O'Connor was anything like Archie Bunker.
Not at all.
Clearly was not. But I bring this back around to say that appreciate All in the Family for everything that it was and wasn't.
Right.
During the era that it was out, but also what I love about this version of that theme song is that it was clearly, as they used to say during these sitcoms, recorded in front of a live audience. And the theme song is extended, but still there's the audience laughing as they hit these lines that make us clutch the pearls and all of the other things. So just appreciate the full length of Those Were the Days.
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played
songs that made the hit parade.
Guys like me, we had it made. Those were the days. Didn't need no welfare state.
Everybody pulled his weight.
Gee, our old LaSalle ran great. Those were the days.
And you knew where you were.
Girls were girls and men were men. Mister, we could use a man like Herbert Hoover again. People seem to be content. $50 paid the rent. Freaks were in a circus tent. Those were the days.
Take a little Sunday spin.
Gotta watch the Dodgers win.
Have yourself a dandy day
That cost you under a fin.
Hair was short and skirts were long. Kate Smith really sold a song.
I don't know just what went wrong. Those were the days.
I heard that. They needed me back then. They needed me to do the gut busting laugh that just rode out over top of everybody else's little polite laughter and all those things. I would have been able to really help them out with that stuff.
See,
I didn't mean to be offensive, Auntie Mary Alice. It was just, I mean, I'm in the CBS camp now. You might have missed when I said at the beginning of the show, I watch CBS Sunday Morning, which, some people would say, okay, really, Steph? But I love it. It helps my weekend mellow out. It rounds it out very well. But, the demographics historically have skewed older for CBS than the other networks. So that's the only reason why I say that. But I still love that. And that show, that and the Jeffersons were do not miss TV in my household growing up. So regardless of whether I watched it on a regular basis, for those two shows, I was planted. I've mentioned here before that my mother didn't let me watch Good Times in real time. So I had to see Good Times in syndication.
I couldn't watch the Little Rascals with, I snuck and watched it. My mother did not want us watching. She saw Buckwheat and Farina in them and was Mm-mm.
Yeah. And my mother was like, do not romanticize the ghetto. Do not aspire to the ghetto. So the Jeffersons moving on up. Yes.
Right. Yeah, we can do that. I watched it all.
Yeah. Yes. Well, we are, kind of cruising to the end of our show with all these short songs.
Yes.
The next one is just, it is the only, no, it's not. That's why I put it with after it. But we are now in our instrumental space. And this song was just, even to my young self, being able to watch the show and laugh. Some of the situations depicted in this show were over my young head, but the theme song was one of the ones I would do along with when it came on, because it was just beautiful, beautiful music.
Yes. And this show is another producer of a bunch of stars, like a bunch,
Yeah.
I think I want to say I feel like everybody in this ensemble cast were stars or celebrities in their own rights.
Pretty much.
And the person who produced or composed the theme song, you know what I'm saying? Another doggone star. So like this show is one of those that is very iconic. Again, we're talking about the 70s. We're talking about Judd Hirsch.
Judd Hirsch. Mm-hmm.
Judd Hirsch.
Who is now everybody's Jewish grandfather. If a TV show needs a Jewish grandfather, he's it.
Judd Hirsch. What is Danny DeVito was in it? Oh man,
Mary Lou Henner.
Mary Lou Henner. I hate to say Latka because that's his character's name, but another person who was gone too soon from us, great comedian.
Yep.
And Andy Kaufman. So this was like an ensemble cast for the gods. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the theme song for Taxi is actually called Angela and is written by Bob James. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did y'all know that it was Bob James? So when I feel like I knew it before a while ago, but didn't retain it. So when I'm doing it today, I'm doing Taxi. Okay. And I'm looking, when I go to find out all the info, it's like Robert James. Wait a minute. This Bob James? I'm like, wow. Like, this is another jazz legend, more moderner jazz.
Yes, before they coined the term smooth jazz, this was it.
Yes. And it's reflected in this song. But this song, even though we all know the theme song from watching Taxi, it's like the song is actually very like full and lively. Like, I mean, it's kind of melancholy, the part that they use for the theme song. And again, I ain't want to miss this song when it came on. Another instrumental that and when I played it the first time, just to hear the whole song, I'm like, I'm singing the whole song. Like, what is wrong with me? Why do I still know all these songs? Mm-hmm. But it's because they make that much of an impact. There's an automatic connection from song to show to nostalgia. Where were you when you were watching Taxi? What were you doing? And so it's all good feelings. Nostalgia drives me nuts because I just be like, can we please get us a time machine? Can we please? And ain't nobody got one yet that I know of. So all we can do is listen to these songs, watch these old shows, and reminisce. And this song again is called Angela by Bob James, which is the theme song from Taxi. You know you already love it. Get ready to sing along. I bet you know all the notes. I bet.
I heard that. It's just so lovely.
Yes.
It's so lovely. First of all, the Rhodes was the perfect sound for everything that they wanted to convey in that. But so youngins who are tuned in, if you are not familiar with the name Bob James, there are a lot of different places I could point you to, but in contemporary times, if you ever listened to smooth jazz radio and you heard the band Foreplay,
Yes.
Bob James was the pianist for Foreplay.
Okay.
So there are numerous hits, whether you were shopping in the mall, because they would have the regular version of the song and the music version of the song playing
Yes.
everywhere. Every
Yes.
time they released an album, just his catalog is miles long.
Absolutely. A legend. A legend. Got to give it to him.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful music. Well, so like I said, we're in our little instrumental section, so there was no way that I could not pick my next theme. And I gotta say, I had no idea who did it. So it was educational for me to look it up, and I was like, who is this dude? And particularly because this is the same way that we talk about reading the liner notes for contemporary albums.
Yeah.
That nobody who did these TV theme songs, this was their first rodeo.
Right.
Like, most of these people were very accomplished in whatever genre of music was their thing, and then they got asked to do the theme for a particular song.
Right.
And this one, of course, stood out for me because we're talking about a place where I've still never been. But the whole feeling of surfing culture and sand and beautiful people and how it all came together and they still fought crime. This was just a no-brainer. So the gentleman responsible for the theme for Hawaii Five-0 is named Mort Stevens. It couldn't be more Jewish. Mort Stevens and his orchestra. Right? But so he's done, look him up. He's done plenty of other things, but clearly the numero uno that people think of when they hear that name is this theme. So let's just prepare to dance along, shall we? Do your chair dancing and reminisce. Mort Stevens and orchestra with the theme from Hawaii Five-0. I heard that. Other smiling little kid face, because if you didn't hear that song come on, all of this. I used to make my father get up and do that dance with me when that show came on.
Oh,
another CBS though, Auntie Mary. Another CBS series. They start creeping back in
Okay.
as we go through the lineup. I'm like, oh yeah, I used to watch that too.
Auntie Mariala's like, old people show, right? Old people channel. Really? This your second song from this old people channel? How? What? I got you, Auntie Mariala. I got you.
Listen, I can say because neither one of us picked them. Let's not even get into the evening soap operas. Falcon Crest, Knots Landing, Dallas. All CBS.
Oh, on Channel 2, yes.
All CBS. So you know.
Now I didn't watch any of those. Well, my mother didn't. My mother watched Dynasty. She didn't really mess with. I don't think she watched Dallas either.
I
didn't really
love with Bobby Ewing.
Now I knew it's possible because I know the theme songs to those shows, but for sure Dynasty was on in my house. I don't remember the other ones being on, but they may have been on and I just wasn't watching them because I definitely know the theme songs and I know the characters. I know the characters from Dallas.
Yeah.
And then Knots Landing, I remember the characters from there. So
but again, we talk about spinoffs. So, you know, they're connected. Yes. So, you know, if you know one, then you're going to know at least one or two on the other. So
Exactly.
Yes. I can't believe that we are at the end of our show with our last two selections. And this one, it was great. I had to go looking. I just knew that this one was on my collection of themes. So at least I would have the short version.
Yeah.
But no, it was not. So I went out and I grabbed the full length of Your Final Selection, which of course was one of those where it had to be.
This is one of those songs that people come together and two artists will come together and they'll do a song together and it's like a perfect I won't say perfect combination because Stacey Lattimer on Johnny Gill, but them and like Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers and even Donna Summer and Barbra Streisand, and Barry Gibb, like these duets are like iconic to us. And one duet that they were so well coupled vocally that they have a whole album of duets and man, let me tell you something. The song that we all know this song because it's the theme to Family Ties. I'm gonna give y'all the answer before Family Ties, Johnny Mathis and Denise Williams. Their song Too Much Too Little Too Late is the song. You hear me? So anyway, we already knew that they could sing a song together. They got a whole album with duets on it. So, and this actually, Without Us from Family Ties is actually on their duet album from 1978. That's What Friends Are For. Not to be confused.
For the other song of the same name.
Yes, not to be confused with the newer version, the newer song titled That's What Friends Are For, but they are not the same. It's not a remake. Two very different songs. But yeah, so this song here is Without Us. Another, I promise you, I was not missing when this show came on because I had to sing all my parts. Okay.
Yeah.
I had to sing all my parts. So, again with the nostalgia, Johnny Mathis, he's a one of a kind vocalist. He was very outspoken about his personal life, his lifestyle, and of course Denise Williams. What can we say about her? This lady, was up under Stevie Wonder. You know what I'm saying? Like Wonderland. So, we had we had two great voices that came together. Their theme song is just as integral to the show as the actors on the show. So for my last song this evening, we have Without Us, the theme song from Family Ties, performed by Johnny Mathis and Denise Williams.
Get ready for your heartstrings to be plucked.
I bet we've been together for a million years.
And I bet we'll be together for a million more.
Oh, it's like I started breathing on the night we kissed. And I can't remember what I ever did before. What would we do, baby, without us? What would we do, baby, without us? And there ain't no nothing we can't love each other through. What would we do, baby, without us? Sha-la-la-la.
If it's absolutely perfect, the last puzzle piece,
And it all just comes together like we had it planned.
ooh, it's like we share a secret we could never tell.
'Cause no one else but you and me could understand. What would we do, baby, without us? What would we do, baby, without us?
And there ain't no nothing we can love each other through.
What would we do, baby, without us? Sha-la-la-la.
You got my number, and I know you know it, and I'm sticking with you till the end.
Ooh, I'm in trouble. If I ever lost you, I'd spend my whole life looking for you again. You got my number. You got my number. You got my number. What would we do, baby, without us? What would we do, baby, without us? And there ain't no nothing we can't love each other through. What would we do, baby, without us? Sha-la-la-la. You got my number. You got my number. You got my number. Ooh, sha-la-la-la. You got my number. You got my number. You got my number.
Ooh, sha-la-la-la. You got my number.
You got my number. You got my number.
I heard that.
Listen here. Now, I hope I'm not offending anybody when I say this, but y'all look at me. Why did they put Johnny Mathis in a football jersey for the cover of that album? We knew. Johnny, it's okay to be out. I'm glad you're out.
He was. That's the crazy thing about it. He was out, and they know he wanted to wear a suit. That's all he wore was them suits.
A football jersey of all the things. Really. It was just completely unnecessary.
Right.
I learned later that Johnny Mathis was my mama's absolute favorite. Like, she had a thing I'm sure her poor little heart was broken when she found out. And he would not have been interested in her.
Well, I mean, according to him, she had a chance. You know, she had a have and have chance. So
Well, yeah,
you never know.
true. But you know, it was I just every mellow song, you talk about quality of voice for the
Yes.
both of them.
Yes.
So unique and so beautiful, separately and together.
Yes.
Right? It's great.
The perfect combination. As I said.
Yes. Absolutely. Now
And
for
yes,
my last song of the evening. Sharice knows this. And people who are very close to me in my inner circle, especially those who knew me in college, already know this about me. But for those of you in the viewing audience who have not yet met me in real life, I have a confession. I am a lounge lizard. Deep down in my soul, deep down in my spirit, I am a lounge lizard. All of the Rat Pack classics, things that are in that genre. I love Michael Bublé. Vocal jazz, me, we are kindred spirits. And so, of course, and it was mentioned at the top of the program, there was no way we were going to do this show, and I was not going to give you the Lounge Lizard special to close it out. Now, the thing, again, we do research. Sharice and I do research so we can share information about these artists with you in the program. Jack Jones, who sings the theme to The Love Boat, has 2 Grammys. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Best male pop performance twice in the 60s.
Wow. What would you know? Do you remember the songs?
No.
I'm gonna have to go
61 and 63 or 62 and 64. But anyway,
I'm gonna have to go check that out.
2 Grammys.
I don't think his voice is gonna sound right singing something other than The Love Boat. I have to hear this.
Well, obviously, he was quite the popular dude.
Yeah, man.
In the 60s. So again, it makes sense that producers of a show in the 70s would say, let me go get the hit maker.
Right.
Come do my song. Now, if anybody ever gets me drunk enough on the karaoke mic, this is clearly one of the songs that I will perform for the people. But it is impossible to sing this at a reasonable volume. Lounge lizard material must be bellowed, and it must be
Your
shared
mouth
with
gotta open like this.
and
Your mouth gotta open like a Muppet.
It must
just unhinge the jaw.
So I hope that everyone in our viewing audience, whether you are watching live or you will watch it on the replay, will take this moment to just excuse yourself from your neighbors and let loose and sing along with the theme from The Love Boat. Jack Jones, here we go.
Exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you and love. Life's sweetest reward. Let it flow. It floats back to you. Your mind on a new romance and love. Everyone set a course for adventure. Your mind on a new romance. And love won't hurt anymore. It's an open smile on a friendly shore. It's love. It's love. It's love. It's the love boat. It's the love boat. It's the love boat. It's the love boat. It's
I heard that. Besides the fact that that is a Lounge Lizard special, that has got to be one of the whitest songs of all time.
But he was breaking it down at the end now. Jack was breaking it down at the end.
He unhinged his face.
He did, and
Get it out.
he went off at the he broke it down at the end. Jack did his thing, yo. He
But
was hitting
man,
notes and everything.
phew.
Go Jack.
You know, it's groovy, but it is not soulful.
Yeah, groovy. Yes,
You
definitely.
understand what I'm saying? You all get me right, but that's why I love it. It is so unafraid to be as white bread as it is that you gotta appreciate it.
He said, "I'm doing my thing. I won 2 Grammys doing this, so
Exactly. Not messing with the formula.
Okay.
It is what it is. Huh. That was fun, Sharice.
it was. I'm glad we did this one. Yes,
Yes, and there's honestly there's so many more.
my
So many
list.
more that we could do.
My list is so long. Like for real, like my list is long.
So we might, do not be surprised if we come back and hit this one again
Yes.
and really get into it. But yes, I agree that there, a lot of these understanding that they were whole songs, right? So we can appreciate the abbreviated versions, but a lot of these songs actually lived a life
Yes.
outside of their association with the TV show. So
Right.
it was just good to be able to, scratch the surface of that. And we look forward to being able to come back and share it with you. So Sharice, run down the list for those who did not join us from the top of the program.
Yes, ma'am. If you missed the beginning, you came in a little bit late. We started with the Sanford and Son theme, which is the Street Beater by Quincy Jones. Our next
you got to be careful when you say that because my ears want to go someplace else.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying, y'all? This is what I deal with sometimes.
I know I'm not by myself, so I'm just putting it out there. Continue.
The next song was "Moving On Up," which was performed by Jeanette Dubois of Willona fame from Good Times, and also the vocalist on this theme song, and
Yes.
Orrin Waters from the Jeffersons, which is, as we already spoke on, a Norman Lear production that was a spinoff from All in the Family.
Yeah.
Then we had Welcome Back, the theme from Welcome Back, Kotter, which was done by John Sebastian. This is the Sanford and Son theme was on an actual album by Quincy Jones. The Welcome Back theme song from Welcome Back, Kotter is on an actual album. We spoke about how they had lives out, and it only made sense, especially for these themes. Welcome Back, put it on an album called Welcome Back. Listen, why not? You know what I mean? Why not? That's
a
move. Okay. Then there was the one that got me the most all night. Chico and the Man by Jose Feliciano, which is on an album as well, a whole album. Chico and the Man, like you said, Stephanie, is not. You don't see that show in syndication like you see some of these other shows. I don't know what that's about. It might be because it might be because the name of the title of the show or something. I don't know.
But I know.
And so after Chico and the Man, we had And Then There's Maude, which was performed by the one and only Donny Hathaway. And
another one we need tambourine for.
Okay, you got to be ready. It's a short one.
All 49 seconds of it.
Before you get started. And this was from the show Maude, which was another spinoff from All in the Family, as Maude was Edith Bunker's cousin, liberal cousin. And the next song we did was Those Were the Days from All in the Family, the motherboard of all these other spin-off shows. Okay.
Yeah.
He had a whole Norman Lear universe. You know, they got the DC universe, the Marvel universe, Norman Lear universe.
Straight
and so after Those Were the Days, which was performed by the stars of the show, Carol O'Connor and Gene Stapleton, live in front of a studio audience. We did Angela, which is the theme from Taxi, which was composed by Bob James, and that's another song that is on a whole album. The next song we did was the theme from Hawaii Five-0. When you talk about like instant, if you have issues with instrumentals, like, oh, what show was that from? You will never say that when you hear the theme from Hawaii Five-0. You're gonna know that. You're gonna remember that's what it was. And then we did Without Us, the theme song from Family Ties, which was done by Johnny Mathis and Denise.
Put your lighters up.
Okay, Johnny Mathis and Denise Williams, and it's on a whole album of theirs. They're a whole album of duets from the two of them together. And then we did the Love Boat theme, which was performed by Jack Jones, who went off at the end. Lounge Lizards Unite. Sing like
I think part of the reason why I also appreciate that is because Sammy could have easily done that. He could have easily done it. You know what I mean? And that's a preview. You can't have that song if we do this again. We'll talk later. I'm just saying that, there's certain things that I gotta claim now, y'all, because Sharice will put it on her list, and I'll be like, and we'll share more of these sometime in the not too distant future.
Yes. Don't forget, as Tiffany noted, to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel, and so that whenever we go live, if I didn't happen to tag you in my post, if you missed the post that Stephanie makes, if I'm not sending you the link to the show individually, you will still get a notification. If you are subscribed to the channel, you'll get a notification every time that we go live, and you won't have to worry about missing or how do I find it? I don't know. You're going to be led directly to the show whenever we go live. So
absolutely. And Sharice and I come up with great ideas, but we always appreciate if you all have a theme that you would like to hear us tackle and you want to offer that to us, please send an email, vibemistress@soul-sanctuary.net, and we will get them. We collect them. We share them. We say, yeah, let's do that next. So we always like to have them stockpiled so we go right to the list and go, hey, we haven't done that one yet. Let's do this.
Right.
So, your suggestions are always, always welcome.
Very valuable.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're done for this evening. We want to beam some good energy to Sharice. She got stuff going on tomorrow.
Yes.
And we want her back here. I don't know if it'll be 2 weeks. We'll let her tell us if she's going to be feeling up to it in 2 weeks. But we will be back shortly. definitely before the holidays. And I guess that's a good time for me. I didn't do a banner about this, but just to let you all know, if you are in the greater Philadelphia area and would like to experience the same kind of vibe live on Turkey Eve, November 22nd, we are doing our first live event in a long time at the Rotunda in West Philadelphia. It's called Qualified Cool Live. And so we're going to be listening to albums in their entirety and having arts and crafts. A few vendors will be sharing some wares for those of you who want to get a little bit of handcrafted things for your holiday shopping. Just going to be good vibe. Pay what you like. No cover charge. Pay whatever you like as you come in or as you leave, and just share in the spirit of live gathering with us. Again, it has been a long time since before the pandemic.
Yes, awesome.
So we are looking forward to having people in a room again with a great video system and a great sound system and just vibing with music and the culture. And so I'll be bringing you more information about that at our next show. But just wanted to drop that out there in case you all are going to be in the area celebrating or not, and would like to come out and be a part of that the evening of Wednesday, November 22nd. You can put it on your calendars, and that is when we'll be gathering live.
Nice. Love it.
All right. So thank you all for joining us, everybody. I appreciate you, Tiffany. And we will send out a notification when we know we're going to be back with our next episode of I Heard That. Thank you for tuning in. Tell a friend. And we will be back in the not too distant future.
That's right. Good night.